The whispers are getting louder. A shocking CCTV leak, a furious wife storming out, and a bombshell from Nigel Farage that could tear the Labour leadership apart. This isn't gossip anymore. This is a story that's rattling Westminster to its core. The footage surfaced quietly, at first passed around in private circles, but it didn't stay hidden for long. According to multiple insiders, the leaked CCTV shows Keir Starmer in Lord Ali's luxury penthouse, the same flat at the center of so many unanswered questions. But this time, there's more than just speculation. The video reportedly captures a heated confrontation between Starmer and his wife Victoria, after Nigel Farage dropped a bombshell claim linking the Labour leader to undisclosed late-night meetings. The argument is said to have ended with Victoria leaving the apartment in tears, calling her lawyers, and refusing to return. People are asking, why would footage like this exist in the first place? The penthouse, worth £18 million, is covered with high-end security systems, cameras in every hallway, and private staff guarding the entrances. Those cameras are now the source of Westminster's biggest scandal. Sources say the leaked clip shows Victoria demanding answers, waving papers in her hand, possibly tied to Farage's revelations, while Starmer tries to calm her down. Seconds later, she storms out. If true, it means the Labour leader is facing not just political fallout, but a crisis inside his own home. Downing Street and Labour HQ have already dismissed the story as malicious nonsense, but behind the scenes, things look very different. Cease and desist letters are flying, journalists are being pressured to back off, and social media platforms are suddenly scrubbing mentions of the video almost as quickly as they appear. The harder Starmer's team pushes to bury the story, the more people are convinced there's something they don't want us to see. Farage himself hasn't backed down either. During a private gathering, he reportedly claimed the footage proves that Starmer is entangled in a web of influence tied directly to Lord Ali, a man whose wealth and generosity have raised eyebrows before. Farage described the situation as the smoking gun. And for once, even his critics admit the timing of this leak couldn't be worse for the Labour leader. The public reaction has been brutal. Online forums are flooded with speculation, with many accusing Labour of hypocrisy. How can a man who positions himself as the champion of ordinary people be living in a billionaire's penthouse, surrounded by gifts, while silencing critics behind the scenes? And now, with his wife walking out after Farage's allegations, the image of a strong, disciplined leader is starting to crumble. What's even more damaging is the silence from mainstream outlets. Channel 4, BBC, ITV, all of them have kept their distance from the story. Not one has addressed the leaked footage directly. For many, that silence is proof of a cover-up. People are tired of being told what to ignore, and when a scandal this explosive is brushed aside, it only fuels suspicion. For Starmer, the timing couldn't be worse. He was already under pressure over the gifts from Lord Ali, the extended stay in the penthouse, and the unanswered questions about his financial disclosures. Now, with his marriage under the spotlight and Farage piling on with fresh accusations, the scandal feels less like a storm to weather and more like a ticking time bomb. And perhaps the most chilling part of this saga is what we don't yet know. Who leaked the footage? Why now? And what else might be on those tapes? If one clip has already caused this much chaos, the possibility of more emerging could be devastating not just for Starmer's leadership, but for the entire Labour Party. The fallout from the CCTV leak is spreading fast, and the cracks inside Labour are beginning to show. Behind closed doors, MPs are whispering about leadership challenges, while others are openly questioning whether Starmer can survive the storm. The image of his wife storming off after Nigel Farage's bombshell has become symbolic of something much bigger. A leader who has lost control not just of his public image, but of his personal life too. For months, Labour strategists have worked hard to present Starmer as calm, disciplined, and untouchable. But with each new detail about the penthouse, the gifts, and now the footage, that carefully built image is collapsing. The idea that the leader of the opposition and potentially the next prime minister could be so compromised by one wealthy donor is raising serious alarm, not just among voters, but inside his own party. The tension has grown so severe that several MPs are reportedly discussing ways to sideline Starmer before the scandal swallows them all. Nigel Farage's role in all this cannot be ignored. Critics have often dismissed him as a political provocateur, but this time he's managed to tap into something that resonates with ordinary people. Farage claims that the footage proves Starmer is living a lie, a man who preaches integrity while secretly enjoying luxury perks and bending rules. And whether you like or dislike Farage, there's no denying that his words are sticking. They've struck a chord with a public already tired of double standards and political games. His so-called bombshell didn't just ignite gossip, it added fuel to an already raging fire. And what makes the situation more dangerous for Starmer is that Farage doesn't seem afraid of legal threats. While other voices have gone quiet under pressure from Labour's lawyers, Farage continues to double down, hinting that he knows more than he's letting on. The silence from major broadcasters is only making matters worse. When people see the BBC and Channel 4 avoiding the story, it doesn't calm fears, it inflames them. Social media is now the battlefield, with hashtags calling out the so-called media blackout. Many ordinary voters are convinced the establishment is working overtime to shield Starmer. Some even claim journalists are being bribed or threatened into silence. Whether that's true or not, the perception is powerful. And perception, especially in politics, can be deadly. A growing number of people feel that if Starmer is hiding this much, then what else could he be concealing? The questions won't stop, and every attempt to suppress them only makes them spread faster. Inside Labour, frustration is mounting. Several senior figures are reported to have confronted Starmer privately, warning that his personal entanglements with Lord Ali and the fallout with his wife are dragging the entire party into dangerous territory. The penthouse stay, once brushed off as a harmless arrangement for his son's GCSE studies, is now seen as the centerpiece of a credibility crisis. The public doesn't believe the excuses anymore. They look at the 7-week stay, the designer clothing, the gifts worth tens of thousands, and now the footage of a furious wife storming out, and they see a leader caught in a web of privilege and secrecy. It's the exact opposite of the straight-talking, no-nonsense image Starmer built his career on. For many Labour MPs, the fear is no longer whether this scandal hurts him personally, but whether it drags the entire party into defeat at the next election. The bigger mystery, however, is what exactly Nigel Farage knows. He has hinted repeatedly that the CCTV footage is just the beginning. If true, it suggests there could be more explosive material waiting to come out. And in politics, once people sense blood in the water, they rarely let go. Already, rival parties are preparing attack lines with Tory backbenchers privately joking about Labour's sugar daddy scandal. The phrase has gone viral online, becoming a shorthand for the allegations of Lord Ali bankrolling Starmer's lifestyle. Memes, parodies, and hashtags have turned a serious credibility crisis into a public laughingstock, something no politician can afford. And yet, Starmer's team continues to insist it's all lies, all gossip, all a smear campaign. But the harder they deny, the less people seem to believe them. What remains unclear is where Victoria Starmer fits into all this. Her decision to leave the penthouse after Farage's bombshell is perhaps the most damaging detail of all. People look at her reaction and see not just a political scandal, but a personal betrayal. If even Starmer's own wife doesn't believe his explanations, why should the public? Some reports claim she's spoken to divorce lawyers. Others suggest she's refused to appear at public events. And while the official line from Labour is that the Starmers remain united, the images of her storming out tell a different story. The danger for Keir Starmer now is that the scandal has moved beyond facts and entered the realm of perception, and perception is often what destroys leaders. The CCTV leak, Nigel Farage's bombshell, and Victoria's dramatic exit have all created a picture of a man who says one thing and lives another. And in politics, perception is everything. Even if Starmer manages to fight off the legal risks, even if he insists there's nothing improper in his relationship with Lord Ali, the public image of a leader compromised by luxury gifts, hidden footage, and family turmoil is already burned into people's minds. Once trust is broken, it rarely returns. That's why Labour insiders are panicking. They know this isn't just about one donor, one penthouse, or one angry argument caught on tape. It's about a narrative that paints their leader as a hypocrite who cannot be trusted. A man who tells voters he's fighting for fairness while accepting gifts worth tens of thousands. A man who calls for transparency while allegedly silencing journalists. A man who talks of stability while his own marriage appears to be unraveling under the spotlight. That image is now spreading faster than any press release or speech can control. The unanswered questions make it even worse. Who leaked the CCTV footage? Was it someone close to Lord Ali, someone inside Labour, or perhaps even a political rival who knew exactly when to strike? Why did Nigel Farage seem to know so much before the footage surfaced? Was he tipped off, or is he holding even more evidence in reserve? And the most dangerous question of all, what else might be on those tapes? People are convinced this isn't the end, that more revelations are waiting to come out, and that thought alone is enough to keep the scandal alive week after week. Every time Starmer tries to move on, another piece of the puzzle appears. A new rumor, a new leak, a new whisper in Westminster corridors. The uncertainty is corrosive, slowly eating away at the credibility of both Starmer and his party. Public anger is reaching a boiling point. On social media, hashtags trend daily mocking Starmer with phrases like "sugar daddy scandal" and "penthouse PM." The comments are filled with ordinary people expressing frustration, not just at Starmer, but at the entire political class. They see double standards everywhere, rules for them and different rules for us. When Tory politicians were caught partying during lockdown, Starmer was the loudest critic. Now, voters say he looks no different, another politician living by one set of rules while preaching another. And the longer the mainstream media avoid the story, the more people believe there's a cover-up. It's no longer just about what Starmer did or didn't do. It's about a growing sense that the system is rigged, that politicians protect their own, and that the truth is being hidden from the public. That feeling of betrayal is powerful, and once it sets in, it doesn't go away. Even some of Labour's staunchest supporters are wavering. They may not like Farage, they may not trust the Tories, but they can't ignore what they're seeing with their own eyes. A wife storming out on camera. A leader receiving designer gifts. A donor bankrolling a lifestyle that most voters can only dream of. And above it all, a growing chorus of questions about integrity. The Labour brand, once seen as the party of ordinary working people, is being tainted by the image of a leader entangled with elite privilege. For those who have worked for years to rebuild the party after the Corbyn years, this feels like a nightmare. They fear that one man's scandal could undo all their progress and hand the next election to the Conservatives without a fight. And yet, through all of this, Starmer himself remains silent on the details. He denies wrongdoing, but he doesn't answer the questions. He calls the rumors lies, but he doesn't explain why his wife walked out, why the penthouse stay lasted so long, or why the gifts kept coming. That silence is deafening. Because when people don't get answers, they create their own. And the stories they tell themselves are often far worse than the truth. If more footage exists, if more revelations come to light, then this crisis could escalate into something far bigger than anyone imagined. For now, the public waits. But the sense of distrust is already here, and it is growing stronger by the day. At its heart, this scandal isn't just about one man, one donor, or even one party. It's about trust, about whether the people who stand up in front of us claiming to fight for fairness are actually practicing what they preach. And right now, The answer looks bleak. The CCTV leak has opened a door that may never close again. Nigel Farage's bombshell has thrown fuel onto the fire. And with Keir Starmer gone from the penthouse and questions still unanswered, the country is left wondering, if this is what's happening behind closed doors, what else are we